Members of the public may be heard on matters for council consideration that do not appear on the agenda. And so first we have Christine Augenthaler.
Hi, my name is Christine Augenthaler. Thank you for listening for a minute or two this evening. I moved to Rye in May, and I walk my dog on a leash almost every day. While I was walking with my two sons last weekend, we encountered a woman walking with her dog off the leash. The dog started to approach us, and we all stopped. Without warning, the dog attacked my dog on the face. I told the woman to put her dog on a leash, and she rudely told me to call the police and called me a Karen and continued to walk as if nothing had happened. I posted on Rye Moms and was taken back by the number of residents who didn't walk their dog around the park or even the boardwalk because of the risk of an off-leash dog attack. It seems that law-abiding citizens should not have to limit their behavior and enjoyment of our public spaces because others don't follow the dog laws. Dogs walking off-leash outside of the areas at other times where it's allowed is very common. I am requesting that the council consider periodic patrols to curtail those who are breaking the law, perhaps increase penalties, increase signage or different signage, and or a fenced-in area to inhibit that behavior. That would be very helpful. Additionally, I spoke to two different police officers with very different responses. One who gave it a lot of credibility, and another one who was extremely dismissive. I think that there should also be consistency and concern in response to this issue. There was an attack also a few days earlier on a young woman who also is here this evening. And the attack on Mari, her dog, and my dog within a week, and learning about many others in Rye are evidence that something needs to be done and done differently. I encourage the council to consider how to better protect the citizens of our town from these attacks. We should be able to walk our dogs without having to wonder if or when we will be attacked. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marie, help me. Marie. Thank you.
Dear councilmen and women, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you this evening. My name is Mari Morshan. I am 19 years old. I'm a sophomore majoring in biomedical engineering and attending Bucknell University. I've lived here in Rye with my family since 2019 and graduated Rye High School in 2023. Rye is where I grew up, and I love it dearly. I am here to speak with you today, along with Christine, regarding the enforcement of leashing dogs in Rye. As a dog owner of a small 10-pound Shih Tzu named Maxie, I, amongst many others, have appreciated the opportunity to let our dogs run off-leash from the hours as stated in the ordinance from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the town park. However, I also believe that after these hours or in areas that have clear signage indicating that at all times dogs must be leashed, that there should be no dogs off-leash in those areas. I often walk my dog behind the Playland parking lot, and I can state that it is very common to find off-leash dogs there. Not only is there clear signage indicating that dogs need to be leashed in this area, but there's also a fenced-in area reserved for environmental conservation work. In my 5 years of living here, I have not once seen a police person or a police car in this area behind the parking lot. In the past, I've never had an issue with this. Dogs can run free and owners can enjoy the beach area. It's probably okay, right? I am arguing that it is, in fact, not okay. On New Year's Day, January 1st, around 9:30 p.m., my dog and I were attacked viciously by another dog. Maxie, my dog, was on leash. The other dog, later identified as a yellow Labrador named Simba, was off leash. From about 200 feet away, Simba charged at Maxie, growling and barking. Panicked, I picked up Maxie and tried to walk away, but it was too late. Simba bit my left arm, dragged me to the ground, and attacked Maxie. Simba grabbed Maxie's neck in his jaws and tossed him around like a chew toy. I heard noises from Maxie that I had never heard before. It sounded like a human crying. After quite a while, the elderly owner managed to make his way over to me from afar and gained partial control of Simba. Simba stopped attacking Maxie, and I immediately started checking him for bleeding, not feeling the pain yet from my own wound on my upper arm. Through 3 layers of winter clothing and a winter coat I was wearing, I was bleeding. My flesh was lifted off my upper arm, where Simba had clamped down and fried the nerve connection almost completely on my tricep. It felt like my arm was on fire, and later became completely numb. The owner barely admitted any fault and claimed that his dogs must have thought I was a coyote or a deer, since they are common in that area. He fled the scene in his car, and I called 911. The rest is irrelevant to my point. This was an absolutely terrifying and painful experience. I completely understand that there are more pressing matters for the council and for the police to deal with, such as robberies, murders, drug scandals, and more. But I do think, as guardians of our community, it is within the police's responsibility to keep us safe not only from other people, but from dogs too. I believe that the police presence in the area needs to be increased, and more serious needs to be shown from the council and from the police as a united force about dog safety. I do believe that this would make a difference. 2 days after the incident, I visited the police office and was very clearly dismissed by 2 officers at the desk to reach out to Westchester County. They did not specify whether they wanted me to reach out to the Department of Health or Westchester County Police, as they claimed this was on Westchester County grounds and not Rye. Regardless of that specificity and minor detail, it was in Rye as a town, and that's why I'm coming to you, councilmen and women, with this issue. I think if the police showed a little more care about this issue, it would give incentive to Rye citizens to follow the rules and make us feel safer walking our dogs. It's very simple. If there are no consequences, nothing will change. Again, I am not trying to point blame at anyone here, but simply raise awareness that this is an issue. I and many others whose dogs have been attacked in Rye, or owners who have been attacked themselves, would greatly appreciate if this issue were to be talked about. We need change. Now, I love my dog. However, he is an animal. And as unreliable as animals can be, that doesn't give the police to be the right for the police to be unreliable too. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was it Rytown Park, to clarify? Or Rytown, or the boardwalk?
Playland,
It was
by
Playland.
Edith Reed.
Behind the playland parking lot.
So on county property, then, okay. Yeah.
I think the issue is a real one, and I'd ask Greg if you could take it up as a topic with Commissioner Copey and see what he has to say about it.
Who sets the rules on those hours? Is it the county's hours, or are they our hours for off leash?
All right. So in the city code, the only hours that are specified. Let me take a step back. So outside of private property, all dogs in the city are required to be on a leash, full stop.
Yep.
And under control of the owner. There is signage at various parks around town. Our jurisdiction is limited to the city of Rye. We
Yes.
can't enforce anywhere else. So if you're talking about the boardwalk at Playland, if you're talking about at Edith Reed or in the area behind that, we don't have a legal jurisdiction or ability to enforce there. So that is county police, and I can certainly put you in touch with the right people there, or the county legislator who represents the city, and she can assist as well. The Rytown Park is the only place within the city of Rye jurisdiction, and that is in the code, and it's specified between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. The dogs can be off the leash with a permit. So we can talk more, and I can talk to the commissioner about enforcement. We did enhance enforcement, particularly at Disbro a few months ago when we added the signage there. We do checks occasionally at Rec Park, but, and I know this is a bit of a broken record, but we do at any one time have 4 police officers or 5 police officers on the road. And the best way of getting results is to call the front desk. We do spot checks, but that's the limit of what we have. And I'll talk to the commissioner about, other things that we can be doing.
Greg, is there anything in the code around fines and how many times something can happen before somebody hits a fine? Like, I know it's in the discretion typically of officers when they're trying to enforce, but how does that work? Like,
It's in the court.
So if you're issued a ticket or a violation for having your dog off leash or for not having a permit from the city clerk. I believe it's a $50 fine at the moment. And an individual has the right to come to court, plead guilty or not guilty, and if they wanted to have a trial, they could. But the fines are $50. It does not escalate depending on the number of times you are found guilty of
It does
violating.
not?
It does not. This code provision does not escalate.
I won't belabor it, but
Heard, yeah.
it's a big deal, like, it's not okay, and we need to figure out how we can help here, and if it's enforcement, if it's changing the laws, like, never be off leash, I know that's right, like, do we petition the county to adopt something similar, like, that's terrifying.
Okay, thank you.